somebody that you've been divorced from, or that has left you, or that you are no longer involved in their life. And this technique is super powerful because the only person we can change is who? You guys know this, right? The only person we can really change is ourselves, right?
You know what they say, when you point one finger this way, three are pointing back at you.
That's right.
Hi guys, this is Rita Wood and Tammy Magnuson. We just went live on the Facebook group page, and that's Executive Mindset Live Coaching, where you can observe the call from there. You can observe and you can ask questions from there. This is Tammy Magnuson and Rita Wood, and we're just meeting up today and having some fun, learning how the brain works, learning how we can maximize the potential that the unconscious mind has for us, and how we can create a life that we love by breaking up. Gosh, can you imagine actually letting go, breaking up, making the decision to break up with old habits, old ideas, old beliefs? What else? What else do we break up from, Tammy?
The past.
The past.
I hope that's what I'm trying to do.
The only person we can really change is ourselves, right?
You know, I hope that's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, that was a little overfeed.
Break in there, girls.
Yes, sorry, that was me, because I checked the Facebook page to see if anyone asked anything on there. So that was my yeah. But you're right, Eileen, the past, because what happens is the past gets repeated. Like, we notice that the past is what leaves us still feeling those same emotions that we no longer want to feel. So that's excellent. Break up with the past parts of us that we that are no longer serving our goal for whatever our dream and goal is. So should we start with that, Rita? What do they want to get from this call?
Yes. So I do want to just give you an idea of the intention is breaking up with bad habits and patterns and old beliefs. And even maybe you have a relationship that you've already broken up with, but mentally there's still some attachment. Emotionally, there's still something that's just not complete. So, have you ever wanted to break up and have like peace and patience and playfulness without having like this intense emotion, or start a new eating pattern, or pay bills on time? Like, how many of us would like to have, I know I did, I wanted to pay bills on time, but now I just got someone to do the bill paying for me, which works too, right? Or just wake up happy. Like, how many of us just want to wake up happy? Mm-hmm. And so here we're going to learn, we are neuroplasticians, we are brain trainers, we are behavioral engineers. So we've been trained in a modality, in a practice that we know the mechanics of the mind. We know how the mind works. We know how you hold information. We know how you got the information, not when or where or with who, but the mechanics of the mind. So if you know how to drive your car, you know how to put it on reverse, on stick, first, gear in, you're looking at the rear mirror. Like, that is all automatic, right? Because you've already learned. So tonight, your brain might hurt a little bit, but it's not like a hurt, like a pain, but it's going to feel like it learned something that's either going to be really eager, or you're just going to fall asleep because your brain's like, no, I don't want it. So just listen to your body and just make sure you breathe. Okay, that's the thing I can tell you right now. If you're breathing in and out, we know you're alive. We know you're present. Just keep refocusing. And what we're doing is we're releasing, rewiring, rewriting unwanted emotions, feelings, thoughts through the transformational system and the structure of how the brain works. So overthinking and inconsistent sleeping patterns and unconscious eating, living in the past, like you said, being with negative people, like, this is an opportunity to visit, you're going to do it. You're going to do a title. You're going to, your project. We're only going to work on one project. Okay. Can we all agree that one project? So if that's an emotion, a feeling, a sensation, hi, Ella. Okay. So if there is like some sort of abuse, find out, like just put abuse, and subconsciously your brain knows abuse. If you're overeating, your subconscious knows what it is. So I want you to have a title. So bring one way of, what you'd like to, and write it down. So have a piece of paper, and our magnificent, miraculous magician, miracle maker machine, Tammy Magnus, is going to lead us into that process. And so you want to bring one way that, very good, that you're going to work on. So a memory, a title. So it could be, we don't want to do abusive, right? But maybe what feeling do you get, or what emotion arises in you when you think of that abuse or that overwhelm or that overeating? So
or
maybe,
even just the person's name. Like you want something that could be neutral. So if there was somebody that abused you, you could use that person's name, and then, if that name meant something good, it no longer means abuse. So
yeah, or the event, so if you have an idea of like, okay, a marriage needs to mean this. So maybe it's the marriage that you need to switch and reflip. Marriage can look like all kinds of ways, like I know I have a husband, and I did have to redefine what marriage was. And I can be a loving, supportive wife. And I don't have to live with him, and I'm still committed to, the best of both worlds. So yes, you can also pick a topic. And I just wrote some steps inside the meetup that I want to honor and follow up with that. That's why I'm saying this, Tammy.
yes.
So come with the intention to get the most out of the session. So just mentally, emotionally, just say, I come in with full intention to get the best positive outcome for myself at this time, at this level. Your subconscious mind knows how much to work with, and just be ready to let it go and let it flow and let it out and vent it and switch it and flip it. And then Tammy will go into creating choices and choosing gifts and talents. So without further ado, Tammy.
So, I always like starting something with a story, because I think it's so powerful. If you understand like what Rita or I have been through and how come we became so passionate about sharing this specific way of dealing with things. So I have a stepson. This is my second marriage, and I have a stepson, and he ended up running away at one point when he lived here. And so he did no longer want to live here. He didn't like the rules. He didn't want anything to do with me in particular. And at that point, I think he was a sophomore in high school. So he runs away, and then he has this whole thing about stuff that was going on. Well, he had things that didn't allow him to come back into our house. Basically, he had a situation that we weren't willing to let him come back into our house. So at that point, I didn't see him again. And he didn't want anything to do with me. And it wasn't either me nor his dad. It was just me. So when I learned about this work, I realized like there's things that I need to let go of, right? I need to let go of resentment, holding him responsible for my feelings that I was feeling every time he didn't, we would invite him to Christmas and he wouldn't come, or we'd invite him to Thanksgiving and wouldn't come, or a birthday party. And I knew that he still held something against me, and it was making me bitter and making me angry and resentful towards him as well. when I learned this technique and I went back and did it, and all I did, I don't remember. I remember one specific time that I really created something different. Like, how did I want it to be? Because here I am spending so much time complaining and, feeling like the victim of the way he's not going to be around us. And, I've apologized, but it's not accepted. And so I remember just doing this technique and then setting it up like, well, this would be the perfect thing, right? If he just calls and says, I wanted to come to Christmas, and, and everything is like it was normal. And so I let it go. But I'll tell you, it wasn't even a year and it was Christmas, and that exact thing happened. And that's what's so exciting, is that there was no communication. We worked it through. There was no struggle or arguments or challenge. It was just, he called up my husband and said, hey, I'd like to come for Christmas. And then he did. And when he came, I didn't even expect this, but he said, can I talk to you in the living room? Or can I talk to you in the living room? Everyone was in the kitchen eating. I said, sure. So we walked in there and he just said, I just want to really apologize. I'm really sorry. And he gave me a big hug. And I'm like, don't worry about it. Like, I didn't have anything that I was holding against him. Right. So it just felt great. It didn't feel like I had to give him a lecture or I had to have him apologize or anything. It was just beautiful. And so I don't know how it's going to turn out for you, but I just want you to trust that this can work in whatever ways you want. And what I wanted was for it to turn out that way. And then it did. And I do believe now, because of how I've created other things in my life, just like that, it was because of the technique, and then also being able to let go and know what I wanted. So that's what I want to start with, is like, what do you want? Because I'm sure if you're like everyone else I work with, when I ask you that question, you tell me what you don't want, right? So for those of you that don't have your screen on, if you feel comfortable chatting, you can do that. If not, that's fine. Like, we'll use Eileen, she's here, or I'll use Rita, or I'll tell you my own story. We'll go with it and give you the best way for you to be able to do this for yourself. Okay. So what I want you to notice first is, what is it that you want? So write it down. Like, I literally wrote it down. He calls up and says, can I come to Christmas? And he shows up, and everybody, we're like, it's normal. Like it was before he left. Like it was before there was any problems. Like it was before he wasn't allowed back into our house. And so I wrote that down. And then I wrote down, it just, to me, it feels like we're connected. It feels like home. It feels like I'm included. It feels like he's included. And so write down those feelings. What do you want to feel?
I honestly have to tell you, I am not shy, and I hope I can help people, because I know a lot of people feel the way I do.
Yes, thank you. Good job.
I'm not alone. I know that.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yes. So notice what you want. And if you're struggling with this, let me know, because I have some things that can help. Anybody not able to find out what they do want?
And I do want to just, for the callers that are like, however you show up, like whatever is going on in your life, however you process your emotions, your situation, your circumstances, however it is, like, guys, like, I get chills because there's no right or wrong way of doing this. Our objective is to allow you to let it flow, let it out, vent it, switch it, flip it, make it awesome again. Like, that is the whole purpose. So there's nothing you have to believe. There's no right way. I know we have the good, the bad, and the ugly within us. And I know sometimes we don't allow that ugly to come out unless we're like dramatically hurt and we don't give a rat's patoot and everybody's going down with me. Like, I know that's when we do it, but like, you can do it in this way, which is a safe environment. And like I was saying earlier, if you're processing the emotions, breathe, okay? Breathe, look around, and if you printed down the stop technique, read that, follow that along. Tammy will go into that some more. But however you show up is perfect, guys, perfect. And there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. We're human and we have emotions and we get to experience them and rewrite them. Like Tammy says, what do you want? What do you want to create? Peace, openness, dynamic, yeah.
Yeah, it's really true. And what's so exciting is that your brain works just like everyone else's. So it isn't wrong, but what it did was just set you up for for surviving, for being able to run fast or jump high or freeze tight or fight hard. Okay. And so we just want you to know that you're perfectly normal and just the way you are. And also, if you want different results, that you can work with the brain, go with the brain, understand how the brain works, how your subconscious creates patterns, and that those patterns come from what you see, what you hear, what you feel, and what you taste, touch, smell. So those things are what is driving these emotions in the body to react. So, all right. So what you want, do you guys have a good list? Could you read it out to me? Like, I'm not asking you to do this, but could you read it out like a story? Like, for my stepson, like Isaac calls up and he talks to his dad and I can hear that he's happy and I hear him ask if he can come, can you write it out like the way you want it to happen? Is everyone able to do that? Are you stuck feeling like, I don't want this, I don't want that?
Hi, I'm Jackie.
Hi,
I'm
Jackie.
still hi. I'm still struggling about this. Do you mean if there's something bother us in our life, we try to imagine what we want?
Yes. So for instance, if you don't have to talk about your situation, but so for instance, when my stepson was estranged from us,
Yes.
what the things I would say is, well, I don't want him to come and be angry, or I don't want to see him if he's going to be mean to the kids, or I would come up with what I didn't want, but I want you to change it and tell me what you do want. And what I did want was everything to be back to normal.
So do we write down that what we want?
Yes.
Okay. Now you just said something about I know it's a brain, like okay, I forgot how you word it. Like we say what we want. Then you said about the senses. Then through the senses, it's okay. I don't want to interrupt you too much, so it's all right.
What did I say? Through the
I'll try.
fences? Did you understand that, Rita?
So Jackie, so the way the brain processes information is through memory. So we're going to go and we're going to work through memory. And the senses are, visually, we hear something, we're seeing a movie or still picture, we smell something, we taste something, or we sense something. That's all information. So we'll go through those steps as we work through the exercise. And so does that answer your question, Jackie?
Yes, I see. So that's coming. You mean that's coming?
That's
yes.
coming. We're going to work on that.
Okay.
Yes.
And then,
go ahead.
I was just going to address something. So, so like Tammy was saying, we know what we don't want. So maybe you have a list of, I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be sad. I don't want to be lonely. I don't want to have this burden. I don't want to have this wound. So you can make the list, and then on the other side, you can put what's opposite. So maybe you just say, if you're not wounded, you're what? Healed. You're dynamic. You're empowered. If you're not angry, you're relieved. You're happy. So that is another way to get to what you want.
Exactly.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
got it.
and for some of you, it might be like, I don't even want to think about that person. Like, I don't even want that person. I don't want their name to bother me. So then you'd say, I want to be free of noticing any sensations regarding their name, or I want to be free to not think of them again, free to, you know, whatever it is that would leave you not in that connected state. If you want to be, you know, I want to be connected to positive people, or I want to be around happy people. So that's what you want.
Oh,
If you're
okay, got it.
you don't want, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Got it. Got it.
Yes. And the
Oh,
don't
okay.
want technique is perfect. I had to do that all the time because I couldn't think of what I wanted.
Mm,
I always thought of what I didn't wanted, which is how our brain works. It's just natural. But now that I know that, then I always do, this is what I don't want. Oh yeah, the opposite is this. And that helps me.
Oh,
And
this
then
sounds great. Mm.
I'm
Yes.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I really, uh,
this is
But-
exciting stuff, guys. This is
Yeah.
really empowering.
conversation
Yes.
tell you a lot of us address trauma. I myself have addressed trauma since I was born. So that's kind of something what everybody deals with, and it's negative. And like you say, you know, people can say, well, I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be upset. I don't want to be hostile, you know, but when people deal with trauma, everything seems to be negative, and it's something like you have to lose the trauma. You have to let that go. I'm just bringing that up because that's my own situation. I've had it my whole life, and I struggle very hard against it because the past can be powerful to someone who doesn't look to the future. You know what I
Mhm. Yeah, it's
Your-
very powerful.
you know, your past can define you if you don't do something about it.
Right.
And you know, so that's what I wanted to bring up.
And that is why you're here, my dear. Exactly.
Thing is to help, you know. I like to help others. I'm a crisis worker, and that's what I do. I help other people, but I also want to help myself because I have my certain issues as well.
Right.
Not perfect, far from it. You know, so
Perfectly you.
shut up.
Exactly. So now that if you have what you want, if you have been able to write that down, like, what does it feel like? How does it happen? You can tell it like it's a story. You can actually imagine it. If you're already there, you're able to do that. Then what we want to do is find out a couple of happy memories, something, or even just a sensation, just a dog, just a sunset, just a ocean, just a, like, it doesn't have to be a big, huge memory. It can be, what do you feel when you hear a baby laugh? If you like babies, what do you feel? So I'm throwing things out there because everybody's different, but I want you to find this for yourself, because the biggest part of being able to break up with the things that you don't want in your life is that you need to know yourself, right? Because
Yes.
then you can use what works for you on yourself. Does that make sense? Use
Sure.
what works for you on yourself. All right. I love horses. So do you think that being happy around horses is a happy memory for me? That's something I can use for myself. I love the ocean. If, you know, if somebody's scared to death of water, they're not going to choose that, right? They need to know themselves. You need to know what it is that you love. So think about happy memories that, or happy sensations, anything that leaves you feeling the way you want to feel in the future. So where have you felt that feeling before for your desired result? I wanted things to feel normal with my stepson. Where did I feel that before? You know, when he was younger, all those days. I have also felt like it's a non-issue. It was a non-issue. So where do I feel that? You know, all day long, pretty much. So those things that are going to give me that same feeling, give you that same feeling, or what you want to step into. So why don't we
Right.
just notice what it is that you want? Did you have a question, Eileen?
Well, I hate to say it, but I'm a real blabbermouth and I've got inside and I can talk a blue streak and I'm not trying to steal anybody's thunder. But everything you're saying, you're promoting such thought. You really are. You're bringing things to the surface. And I mean, I know for myself, I had a happy 34-year marriage. A lot of people haven't had that.
Right.
My husband is dead 5 years. I can't stand being alone. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I was spoiled. I had a man that thought I was a queen,
Aw.
I got along so well and he was really intelligent. There were only, nothing's perfect, mind, but I mean, we had it really good. And I know compared to other people. So my big thing is I can't stand being alone. And I'm a very outspoken person. I drive men away because I am a New York City woman. And I say just what I think. And if you don't like it, tough noogies. Okay.
Okay, hold on a second. You drive
New
men
York
away.
City.
You drive men away. What are you driving? Is it a truck or a
What are you
BMW
driving?
or a
semi. Eileen's driving a semi.
Eileen's a crazy woman from the word go. Eileen's been on her own since she was born. Okay. So, but I'm a New York City woman. When New York City was something great, it isn't now, but when it was, oh mama, it was fabulous.
So let me
Love
ask a question. What's the opposite of being alone?
Being in a committed relationship, respect, honor, love, and meeting in the middle. That was a big thing. My husband and I had to learn to meet in the middle, and we did, and that meant a fabulous marriage because it wasn't anyone's way of the highway. If he didn't do what I wanted to do, when we were first married, it was like that. We almost killed each other for 5 years. And then we got to the 5-year mark, we looked at each other and we said, we have problems here. He was a manic depressive. He was abused by his family. He had a lot of baggage. So he was angry. And I used to say to him, don't take it out on me. I ain't your mother. Okay. Even though I'm obsessed.
So he was living in the past.
Yeah.
Good. So I want to keep you focused. So it's going to be committed, respected, honored, loved. Those are what you want to feel.
Yes.
Okay, good. Did you write that down?
Yes, I have.
Perfect.
I've been writing down here. I've been making notes. Absolutely. And that's what I want. And nowadays, I'm not a young woman anymore. I look young, but I'm not young. Okay. I have a lot of experience. But most men now don't have to do diddly do. There are so many women out there. There are 15 single women to every single man where I live. And
you want a man in your future.
yeah,
Is that right?
Yeah.
Good. So write down what kind of man you want. You're going to write down only what you want. What you want. You want something, you want this man that's not the other thing that you're describing. And so we want to redirect your brain to just focus on what you want for right now. Okay. We'll go over there to the other side.
So I'd like to interject. So there's some questions in the chat here. So Tammy's trying to find your happy places because our modality and the way the brain works is that we have a good, bad, collapse. So Tammy will tell you that when you go to your happy memory, happy place, your happy person, your happy dog, your happy horse, when you go to those times that you just we're aware of grace, love, and compassion, your body starts, look, I can feel it right now just by even saying those words. Your body automatically, your brain, unconscious parts brings that information forward, and it sends those happy feelings. So what we're doing is we are doing good, bad, collapse. So it's very important you write down your happy memory, give it a title. If it's the ocean, the beach, if it's, you know, the walk at the park with your kid's dog, or with your, you know, whatever it is, write it down. And then Tammy wants to know, who are you in those memories? I'm open, I'm dynamic, I'm at peace, I'm loved. Write those emotions down, because we're going to use that. That's going to be a resource that we are going to use to help you switch and flip this old pattern behavior that you don't like. So go on, Tammy. Does that make sense, Jackie? I hope that makes sense.
Exactly.
Yes,
It is
yes. Thank
perfect.
you.
It is really important that you have that good, that we have that happy memory, because a memory. So here's the thing. I used to be into positive mindset for 20 years, and, you know, all this effort and work that I was doing to be positive. When I understood, when I was like, I can't be positive, I can't think of one good thing. Have you ever been there? If I could, if I had my happy memories written down and I looked at them, my body's already starting to change. All right. So we want, I know you've probably never heard, like, have a happy journal. Like, my journal was full of all the woe is me, sad stories, breakups, and horrible things my parents did. we want to, if you want the brain to focus on happiness, if you want the brain to focus on love, if you want, then we have to have resources that we can build upon. This is a building block. If you're going to build a house made out of rocks, you can't use sand. Okay. So we have to have the happiness structure. If you want happiness, if you want peace in your life, you need a peace structure. Your brain is a very patterned and structured organ. Okay. So we need to know what it is so we can build on that and create more of that for your life. That's how important it is that you know that.
Okay, so we choose like a happy place that we resonate, like very true to us.
Yes.
Then we write it down.
Yes. So
And
that no matter what's happening, you could just remember that place, or see a picture of it, or have what it smelled like.
Okay,
know,
so don't
so-
have to be like a real place. Can be a picture, or can be something you just feel it, like a.
Yeah, it could be that, or it could be a real place. Sure. I mean, it's if you saw a picture, there's a memory there, and then you created feelings and thoughts to go along with that. So it's still your memory.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But whatever just leaves you feeling good. That's what we want to know.
Okay.
So get down a good 3, 4, 5. It's nice to have 5 of them. And as you look at them, do just what Rita said. Notice who you are. There's a pattern. The reason you're happy in those memories is because you are somebody in there. You're believing that you fit in. You're believing you're loved. You're believing you're free. You're believing, that it's peaceful. So notice who you are. I am what? I am who? And that's what we want you to write down.
Okay.
Notice all of your happy memories. Who are you?
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. So Eileen is going to use I'm loved, because that's really important to her.
Oh,
I'm respected. I'm committed. Those are the words that she wants to find, memories where she feels that feeling. She feels other people think that about her. She thinks that about them. She sees a dog and she thinks they're loyal. So that would help her feel committed. So we're allowing the brain to do it for us.
right.
Good. Okay. So does everybody have some good resources? The first thing I want us to do, if you know the I am, I'm just going to use I'm loved, because it's very universal and most people have a good sensation when they think of when they've been loved, when they felt love, when they love something else. And so I want you to squeeze your wrist. And just say that 3 times. I'm loved. I'm loved. I'm loved. And as you're doing it, think of that memory where you were. All you have to do is think about it. But I want you to step into it, like wiggle your toes in that memory. Just like you're there. Deep breath in and out. Say it again. I'm loved. I'm loved. I'm loved. Whatever it is, remember that memory. I want you to smell it. What did it smell like? Notice the colors. And just squeeze your wrist. Take a deep breath in and out. Say, I'm loved. I'm loved. I'm loved. Whatever it is for you, right? Whatever your word is in those happy memories. And notice all the sensations inside your body, the emotions you feel in this memory, the sensations in your body. Where are they? Are they in your stomach? Are they in your chest? Are they in your throat? Are they in your toes? Just notice, where is the sensation? I'm loved. Where is that? And now move it up to your head, move it down to your toes, just move it all around, make it even bigger than yourself. And squeeze your wrist and say, I'm loved, I'm loved, I'm loved. Okay. Now take a deep breath in. Blow it out and say, I'm loved. I'm loved. I'm loved 3 times. So what we're doing is we're anchoring, squeezing the wrist to that memory and that sensation. Have you ever smelled something and it reminds you of grandma? You ever smelled something and it reminds you of a vacation, a home that you were at on vacation? That's because that's an anchor to a memory. So we're helping our body, we're helping our brain have that anchor. Okay. Great. So we've got the desired outcome, the happy memories. We have who we are in that happy memory, right? Good. So now notice what it is that you want to break up with. Notice what stands out. What are the emotions? What are the, what are the sensations? What are the, what did you see? What did you hear? What do you notice?
You guys can type that in. If you just type those questions that Tammy is saying, that'll help you just to get it out there. Definitely write it down so you can later on, circle it and just work within that. Okay.
Hi, Chris. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Chris.
Good job. Keep practicing that feeling.
Yeah, thanks for your time.
Yes, you're welcome.
So,
Yeah, Chris, I was going to say, you can go into the Facebook Executive Mindset Live Coaching Facebook page, and you can watch the rest of the steps to be able to break. But you will notice shifts and changes, even just from bringing it up.
Right.
You will notice whatever it is that you're working on will be dissipated or even flipped and switched.
well, I don't have Facebook, so.
Oh, you don't? Good for you.
Maybe we'll send out the replay.
Yeah, we can send out the
just,
replay.
send me maybe your email too.
Sure.
Yep.
Perfect.
And, so I don't miss the next one. So.
Yeah, the next one's December 1st.
Okay.
Okay,
Sounds
see you
good.
then.
Okay, thanks.
You bet.
Good night.
Good night. All right. Notice what does it mean about you? So this is what a limiting belief is. If we want to break up with our limiting beliefs, we have to know what they are, right? So when I would think about memories, I would think, nobody likes me, nobody wants me, nobody pays attention to me. How come how come they can't hear me, or, you know, nobody listens to me. So what are those limiting beliefs? Like, I'm unimportant, right? I don't matter. I'm not good enough. I'm too, I mean, unimportant's the big one. I'm
Um,
too small, right? So
Yeah.
whatever those beliefs are.
Yeah, and you know, guys, when I said wherever you are works, you know, so if you're struggling with still trying to get a happy memory, that's what you work with. You know, you just work with, I don't have a happy memory, and you find out, you know, what is it within you that has you believe that. And so you just work with that, because there's
Right.
nothing wrong. It's just where you're at. And as you go through these processes, you will notice that finding your happy memory comes quicker and quicker. So what I did is I focus on a part of my body that I was grateful for. Like, I have 10 fingers. Thank you. You know, like I
Right.
have all my body parts, you know, so maybe you look at the things that you want to be grateful for. Okay, so if you didn't have toes and ankles, are you grateful for them now that you do have them? So whatever it is, you know, if I didn't have an arm, so I'm grateful to have an arm, you know. So keep it simple, and just allow that process to help.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
And I know I didn't have any happy memories when I started this. I know I didn't. Because I remember the day I was sitting there going, but I can't think of anything happy, because all of my happy memories had anxiety in them when I went back to them to visit. Okay. So I'm sure Rita had the same thing, and that's very common. So sometimes a color makes you feel happy, sometimes a smell. Do you like the smell of roses or carnations? Or you can also use those senses too. Okay.
Yeah, and I also want to address, you know, emotions will come up because we've suppressed them. Look, I get chills. We suppressed a lot of stuff for a very long time. So for your genius part, or your unconscious part, or your heart, your soul, whatever that is, you know, you are visiting that, it means a lot to you in an unconscious way that you can, you know, because there's fear, right? There's fear of something bad would happen. That's why we suppress it, so we wouldn't get hurt, so we wouldn't be in pain, so we wouldn't have fear. So you're okay if there's emotions that are being evoked because you're going to a happy memory, or you're going to even thinking of the idea to be happy. So just breathe.
That's
Do a lot
right.
of breathing, okay?
Take care of your state. Reach out to and in the chat if you need anything else. So, all right. So now that you know some of those limiting beliefs, and you know the sensations, the feelings, let yourself just close your eyes and go back and feel maybe a time when it first happened. Maybe a time where you learned how to feel, I'm unlovable, I'm not important, I'm not good enough, I don't matter, whatever it is for you. And it's probably before you were even 7 years old. And just notice what's happening in this memory. And I want you to notice if you're seeing it like a movie or a picture, if you're hearing it, or if you're feeling it. Okay. And then also notice if you're seeing it from your young child's perspective, like you're behind your own eyes looking out, or if you're a fly on the wall watching it like a movie. And isn't that interesting? I remember the first time I had a memory and I was a fly on the wall, and I realized, oh, my memories might not be accurate. How did I change that perspective? How did I switch and see it from there? Okay.
How do you know? I mean, how do you deal with blocks of time that are pretty much a blank my mother was raped and I was in an orphanage, and then I was adopted. And my whole childhood's basically a blank. And then when I got to be a teenager, my adoptive mother decided she couldn't stand me and I was a whore. So I was abused.
So hold
So-
on a second. How did you know that you were adopted if you don't have any memory of it?
Because I was told by my
Okay.
adoptive mother.
So that's a memory. The person telling you created a sound that left you with a story. And so you either created this memory, it's up to your brain. I'm not sure how you did it yet, but the story created either a visual where, like I do that, someone will be talking about a story and I'll be like creating all these sensations and visuals, and then I'll start feeling it in my body. And then, and so as you heard that story, did you see yourself being an orphan, or did you feel it? Or is it just the story?
What happened was my adoptive parents didn't tell me anything until they didn't want me to, they told me I was adopted. I knew that when I was about 11, 12 years old. I knew I was adopted. And then when they died, I went and I researched. I went to the New York City foundling home where I was born, and they sent me documentation about my real mother and my real father. They said that my mother was raped by my father and she was 15, and I'm really anti-abortion because I could have been flushed down the toilet.
Yeah. And you're a miracle.
Yeah.
Like, just look at that. That is amazing. And so now when you heard that story, what I want to know is, did you create a movie and watch it? Your mom getting raped and all of this, did you watch it as a movie, or did you feel it? How did you create that?
I am an artist. I am totally visual.
Perfect.
I've done that all my life and had an ad agency and done all kinds of things. And
Okay.
so I'm very visual. So I would say it was like a movie. Everything's kind of like a movie.
Good job. So that's really important for you to know, because if your brain is playing that movie, you're going to feel alone, right?
I
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
Right. And your brain is going to play that movie because it was really important. It was really impactful. It held a lot of emotion. All right. So good job. That's all you need is the story. When that person told you the story, either when you were younger and you found out, or earlier, whenever it was, you can use that story. Okay. That is a memory.
Yeah.
Perfect. Is anyone else having trouble thinking of a memory where that feeling was created?
I have some trouble, need some help to sort. I knew what happened when I was very young, but it's not a one single thing. It's many things. So do I think of one thing, because I don't even kind of remember the beginning, like what's the earliest?
Oh, well, that's great. So yes, we want you to just use one memory, one title. So it will make it more clean to notice that changed, to just have one specific memory.
So one specific incident, like memory of the incident.
Right. Because that feeling will probably be pervasive in your life. Like, you'll notice it throughout all of your life because you're trained to notice it. That's what
Okay.
they train us to notice that sensation more and more. So that's why we're building the happy feeling, right?
Okay.
So notice that sensation, notice that one memory, and just title it something neutral. So if it happened on Christmas, you put Christmas. If it happened at McDonald's, you put McDonald's. Okay. Or whatever title you can come up with. Yep. So that's the next step, is like, put a title to that memory where you're feeling that sensation, where it was created the first time that you remember or felt it. Okay. And notice the feeling, because it's inside your body. So notice where you feel that. So Eileen, where do you feel alone? Like for me, that's a stomach sensation. That's kind of like the stirring in my stomach. And it's kind of that empty, hollow feeling. But for other people, it's completely different. So notice where you feel that I'm alone.
That is a very, actually, for me, a very complicated question. I'm an empath. I feel things extremely deeply. It's very hard to deal with on its own, being that way. But my past, it's always been a feeling of not being wanted. It hurts my heart more than anything.
Okay, good. So in your heart, so I want to get really detailed. In your heart, what does it feel like? Squishing, pressure, poking, pulling.
It feels like a void. Okay.
Okay.
Because the heart is full of chambers.
Yep.
And I really believe, like, my husband has a chamber in my heart. I'll never lose him there, but there's such a void.
Okay.
Because he isn't here, and I
And
don't
describe that void. Does it feel like something's opened up? Does it feel like something's tight? Does it feel, how do you describe that? Tell me how to do it.
A void is a blank space. Void is an emptiness where it should be full.
So does it feel like it's air? Like air pressure, or like flat?
Flat. I would say flat.
Good job. Okay, so now you've got a little bit more insight, and this alone can change your life when you can start asking yourself, I'm so sad, I'm so alone, I'm so, whatever I'm so angry, whatever your sensation is, and ask yourself, how am I creating that sensation in my body? Because, your heart's not flat. And that's very important for us to know, so that we can transform that sensation.
So for the other ones that are on the call, you too should be going to that sensation, that feeling, that first time, that memory that you're working on, like, where is that raw sensation, of that memory.
Right.
So do the same thing that Tammy did to guide Eileen, find the colors, the sensation. It feels like, the brain works in metaphors. It feels like a ton of bricks. It feels like, if I'm happy and hopeful, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. So that feeling, sensation, it's being held somewhere. And then we give it names, we call it this and we call it that, but we want to go to the root of it. So find your place that you're holding.
Yeah, that's great. I remember the first time I realized sadness felt like there was a lump in my throat or choking me. And I was like, nobody's actually choking me. How can I feel this? But that was my description of sadness. And so as soon as I knew that, every time I'd start to feel, I'd be like, oh, I'm feeling sad. Like, it opened up that whole understanding of myself, which is what I said. We want to know ourselves, right? So we can use the things that are to our benefit to develop and go towards our dream. All right, so we have that sensation. And then this is a tough question. I'll help you out with it, but what bad thing would happen if you didn't have this sensation any longer? So sometimes we might feel alone, and we might think, if I feel alone, then I'll eventually find somebody, because that aloneness is driving me to look for somebody. Or we might think the sadness. So what bad thing would happen if I let go of sadness? Like, people would think I'm rude, right? If I'm not crying and feeling bad about things that happen, either for them or for me. So what bad thing would happen if you didn't feel this emotion? Helped me know Like if I didn't feel sad, there's a whole bunch of people that would think there's something wrong with me. They would think I'm fake, maybe. They would think like, I'm trying to go back and think of the
Yeah.
things.
You know, people would hate me,
Yeah.
and what bad thing would happen if people did hate you? Like in this just goes back to how the brain works and how we got the information and how we survived. Why we're afraid that if people hate us is because we literally would have died, right? With no love, no communication, no food. So it's our brain wants to survive us. Our brain is there. Its job is to survive you. So it's going to give you that feeling, that emotion, because we want to survive. We don't want to die. And we know as brain trainers that that's not happening right now. It's old information. So now we can switch it, flip it, update that part of us that held on to that information, take the gifts, take the learnings. So as Tammy goes through this process, you will be able to come out of that. Yeah. I would feel, I feel that would happen, but I know it's not true, and I get it. And this is where we're going to go work through that. So hang on tight. Tammy's
Yes.
getting there.
That's exactly the issue, is that we can know something isn't, when I used to be anxious all the time, I knew, I was like, what is going on? There's nothing to, this isn't a big deal. I could know it, but I couldn't control what was happening in my body, because my body was in that old memory that Eileen was talking about at the beginning, right? Like it's an old memory. So, all right. So let's go ahead and notice what it would be.
Can I ask a question before you move
Sure.
on, if I may? There's a question of, is it better to feel something than nothing? Okay. I know I fought depression most of my life, and I've been on medication. And when I was on medication, I felt nothing. I was a walking zombie. And I said to myself, oh shit, I think I'd rather feel and be hyper and, run around than not feel at all. It's a question. I mean, there's no happy media for some folks who struggle with certain issues like depression,
Mhm.
for me, I decided I might not be happy all the time. I may be a maniac. I run around like a crazy person. I'm hyper. But I'd rather do that than be a zombie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So-
Anybody have any ideas on that one? There's no happy media here.
Well, the goal is, so what we want to do is direct, and I understand depression pretty well, because I actually was on depression medication and I was off it too. And this is the technique that changed my depression for me. This is the only thing. I wasn't on medication and had tried lots of things, and this really worked. And so the answer is, we have your desired outcome. The answer is, we want to drive our feelings to feel that now, so that we can have what we want. So it's kind of a little underhanded way to not say whether it's better to feel nothing or to feel something, but it is better to feel what is going to give you your desired outcome. That's the best.
Oh yeah.
So that's what we're going to focus our brain to focus on. All right.
And
Okay.
let me just say, for the ones who are communicating through
Chatting
through the
Mhm.
text, is that the chat is that whatever feelings, whatever sensations, whatever we're realizing is great as it's coming up. because whatever's coming to the active experience, that right there, Tammy will go through the process, will be switching and flipping. So, and sometimes the way we cope is the way we cope. And we love to lean into that. We love to embrace that because look, we're the good, the bad, and the ugly. And until we can love our ugly, guys, I mean, it's just what it is. And sometimes it's better to be depressed, right? Than or sometimes it's better to be angry. Sometimes it's better to be pessimistic. So until you get to the higher level of vibration where you can be non-judgment, it's just a process, and it's called emotional intelligence. So right now it's, you are in preschool, and we're going to get you to kindergarten, and we're going to get you to first grade, and we're going to get you to third grade. And in 13 weeks, you're going to be in, a junior in the university of life of emotional intelligence. So stick with us. There's no hope lost. We will address whatever the unconscious brings forward. So, and yes, you could do it with a smile, because that also tricks the unconscious part, that tricks the physiology of your body. So here we go.
Yes.
Hang on to the
and you guys, I say this a lot because I just think it's so foundational that that you're worth it. All right. You're worth it. You only have one body. Well, we don't know for sure, but maybe only one life. And so this is your experience. And I want to make sure that you know that you're worth it. Okay. So
Tammy, I have a question. Thank you, Rita, for everything. So everything that you are talking about, like I practice, but right now I'm realizing that I have suppressed a lot, and I'm already 40 something. And so
you're so old.
I'm
You're too
very,
old for this.
yeah, I wish I was like younger. But
Aw.
I think a lot of people have told me like that I suppress things, and I never really quite understood until now. Or right now, or it's like been a theme this year. And even if I allow myself to feel, there's still like a disconnect. And
Mhm.
then the self, what is it called? I can't think of the word right now. Like I just become more negative, and then I feel like I just put it in a box and then like shove it under the bed or something, so I don't have to deal with it, and I go along my way and either focus on work, kids, whatever it is, in achieving. I think that's how I've learned to cope with things. Achieve, that whenever there is a thought of like, okay, you were sad, I was like, no, but it doesn't compare to other people that are going through hunger or illnesses and stuff like that. So that has kept me like strong.
Mhm.
But I think I did hit a wall where, how can I explain it, where the suppressing doesn't work anymore, and and life is forcing me to defend myself, which is not my style. That was
Okay,
a lot.
great.
Sorry.
No, that's perfect. So what I heard right there, that is a limiting belief that I want you to write down is I'm weak. Because the reason you're defending, the reason you have to put stuff away is there's a belief that that you won't be capable of dealing with it, that you're weak.
Interesting. I do not see myself as weak though.
No, but we're talking about when you go to the sensations that you no longer want, or when you go to the memory, what are you finding?
Oh, I get true. It's disempowered.
Okay, perfect.
Disempowered. Yeah.
It's a different word. It kind of means the same thing.
Right,
So
right.
that's exactly what I'm hearing. And so it started way back then. And if you don't have to, so there's two things that happen, right? We see people that are abused, and they either become abusers or they're completely against abuse and they become completely passive. And, so the brain can do one of two things. It can either replay and repeat, or it can fight against it. And it looks like you believed you were empowered, you believed you were weak. And so your whole life has been struggling to try to prove that you're not. And that's like a lot of brain training right there.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Okay, good.
It totally, I actually am counselor, not a therapist, but a counselor. And so, and I think my life has taught me to learn a lot about like coping and figure out new things. But I was focusing on external stuff like my kids, like family, like everything. And now I have to look within, and it was
Oh.
really painful. Yeah.
And a beautiful journey. So I want you to know that I remember hearing about how, like, you know, the only person you can change is yourself. And I used to feel very disempowered by that because I was like, I've tried everything. I don't know what else to do. And when I learned about this kind of work where it's the memories and all we have to do is shift some things around, and our brain will give us different resources in the memory. It's like, oh, now this is happening. Now this is happening. We're very creative in our brain. And so when our brain does that for us, then it's easy. And it became the thing that allowed me to see things differently and then
Mhm.
respond differently in today. So when I saw it differently then, for me, it was visual. When I saw it differently then, or I felt it differently then today, I would notice changes.
I've tried it, but I probably need to learn more from you. But I've tried that, and I perhaps is because I still have the suppressed emotions, and they're
Okay.
still there, and I haven't released them.
And you used faster EFT or Eutaptics?
Sorry, I didn't catch what you said.
Oh, have you used faster EFT or Eutaptics?
No, not yet. Mm-mm,
Okay.
mm-mm.
All right. So this technique is the one that's going
Okay.
to really make a difference.
Thank you. Thank you.
You bet. Yeah. And then so what I was going to say is then I realized that that was more empowering, that it was only me that could change myself. That became so empowering to me. I was like, yes. And everyone was like, oh no, we can, we have to do this. And I was like, yes, because I got it. I got that. If that's all I have to do, and now I know how to do it, just, let me free, because now I know what to do. It was like I was just looking like, how, just tell me how and I'll do it. I had the motivation to do it. I didn't know how. And this made the huge difference. So, all right. So let's begin. We have our limiting belief. We have a memory. We have a title to that memory. What I want you to do is take a deep breath in, go back and just feel that memory for the very last time. Notice how you created it. Remember where you found that feeling in your body. For Eileen, how it felt like your heart is flat, like it's empty. Okay. So just notice that sensation. Notice you're right here. Notice and then go back, make it bigger. Make it even bigger. Make it more strong. Remember what you saw. Remember what you heard. Remember how it felt. And then hold on a second, open your eyes, and just, if we were in a pitch black cave, totally dark, all the lights off, and I turned on all the lights, the whole thing just lit up, where does the darkness go? Disappears, right? No effort, it just disappears. And now we're going to use a technique called tapping. I just want you to follow along and say the words out loud. And all you have to do is follow along, okay? So we tap right here and we smile. And we say, I'm eliminating and releasing all sadness, all fear, all emotional trauma, right beside the I tap, all judgment, all abandonment, all betrayal, all anger under the eye, all resentment, all guilt. That's right. On the collarbone, right below the collarbone, all helplessness.
Yes.
All hopelessness.
All hopelessness.
All rejections.
Rejection.
And I'm going to add in all weakness.
Weakness.
All disempowerment.
All disempowerment.
All aloneness.
All aloneness.
All craziness.
All crazy.
Anybody ever felt crazy? We're going to let that go.
Oh, yeah.
Let it go. Say it's good to let it go. Don't forget to smile. And then I want you to take a deep breath in. I like raising my arms up and just getting that good stretch and blow it all away like you're blowing 100 candles. And now we're going to squeeze our wrist. Remember that happy memory? That happy smell? That happy feeling? As you squeeze it, you're going to say, I'm loved. Make it really strong. If you didn't have a good, happy memory, make the sound of laughter strong. Make this the sound of an ocean. Make the sunset or sunrise. Just close your eyes and notice it. Notice you're loved. Squeeze your wrist and say, I'm loved.
I'm loved.
That's right. If nobody else loves you, you love yourself. You're the only person you get all through life with. Okay. This is helping us know ourselves, helping us love ourselves, and helping us get to what we want, our goal. All right. So let's go back and notice this memory. Now, this time, what I want you to notice is what's changed. It might seem really strange to you, but you might notice something looks different. Maybe it feels different. Maybe it smells different. Maybe it sounds different. Just notice what's changed. Is that cool? Did anybody get some changes already? Okay. Notice what hasn't. What part still bothers you? Is it that sensation? Or is it the movie you're seeing? Or is it the feeling or the sound of something? Notice what it is. Look up and smile. Let it go. Let it go. It's good to let it go. I'm letting it go and flow and leave and what else? We're just going to let it all go. I'm not there right now. Wiggle your toes. How many people have 10 toes here? Anybody? Hopefully. If you do, say thank you, toes. Thanks for being here for me my whole life. I appreciate it. Deep breath in.
So we got some people that are now remembering a happy moment, and
Yes.
and some of them are noticing a little bit distance from the traumatic memory.
Isn't that interesting? First, it will be like you're right there in it, and then pretty soon you'll be back further, or things will be getting smaller, or like it's so cool. I love it. Good job. Okay, so we take that deep breath in, blow it all away. Get into that happy feeling. Squeeze your wrist, and just feel something. Feel your heart. Feel something warm. Your heart is beating. It's warm. It's working for you, and you're not doing anything. It's just free work, free labor, guys. Who doesn't love free labor? Right? That's what we have kids for, but our heart does it too. I'm just teasing. That's what I thought about my parents. My kids thought that about me. I hear it all the time.
Tammy's very magical, guys. You guys are gonna get a really fun flip. We call this a memory flip, when your memory actually flips, and now you can see the gifts and the learning and the wisdom of why and how. And then when you rewrite it, ooh, it's gonna be even more amazing.
It's awesome. So can you feel your heart? Can you feel your warmth? Can you be grateful for that? Notice that happy memory. Notice the colors getting brighter, the smell getting more beautiful. All of your sensations as you wiggle your toes, wherever you are in that memory, feeling better, feeling good. I'm loved. You say your affirmation, whatever it was in your happy memories. I'm loved. I'm important. I'm chosen. I'm peaceful. I'm calm. I'm beautiful. And squeeze your wrist. Good job. All right, let's go back and notice what's changed. Just remember this, the title of this memory. Look at that and remember, notice what's changed. And now I want you to look at the faces. If there's other people in this memory, notice their face. Are they smiling?
Oh, yeah.
They're already smiling?
Yeah.
Good job. Bye, Jackie. Thanks for joining us. We'll send you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So now notice what still bothers you. Is there any part that still bothers you? For some of you, as you're looking at faces, notice if they're smiling. If they're not smiling, let me know. So this is what the brain does. It notices something on a person's face and it says, that means something about me, right? When mom was like, or or I don't know, grinding their teeth at you. So these faces mean something about us. It becomes an emotion. So then we just look up and smile and we say, let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it flow down to my toes and out my nose. Good job. Deep breath in. Guess what, guys? If therapy doesn't make you laugh, then it might not be the right kind of therapy. Deep breath in, blow it all away, squeeze your wrist and get into that good feeling where you're happy, where you're loved, where you're peaceful, where you're committed, you're respected, you're enjoying life. Feel that good feeling. Run it to your head, down to your toes, out to your fingers. Notice the color of feeling good. Like if I'm loved, what color is that? Good job. Peace. All right, let's go back and notice what's changed. All we're doing is just noticing. So notice what you see, notice what you hear, notice what you feel. What has changed? Is it becoming magical? Is it becoming playful? Is your brain inspired with different colors, different sensations? That's the goal. That's what the brain does. All right, notice what part still bothers you. If there's a person in this memory, I want you to pretend that you're standing in their feet, inside their body, looking at you. What would they notice?
See, the problem with that is they're not here. When they are absent, when they are taken, when they die, and you are alone, they are not here.
That's right. So I'm alone. Let it go. Let it go. Tap and smile. Look up and just say, let it go. Okay. Let it all go. It's good to let that go. And guess what? You can still notice. Deep breath in, blow it all away, and you can still notice, what would they notice about you? Okay, because our brain is very imaginative. It makes up things.
Yeah. Well,
So
yeah. My husband would not be happy with me.
oh, there he is. My husband's not even happy. Heaven must not be that great. Let it go. Just let it go. And I want you to tap and smile and say, I'm letting go of his unhappiness. That's right. So guys, you know what I did when I first learned this? Every thought that came in my head, I said it out loud and I said, let it go. Because I had a lot of hate for my ex-husband and it was causing me to be depressed. So who was paying that price? Who was paying for that poison? That was me.
At him.
Yeah.
Not
So
him.
we're going to let go of those thoughts that are making us depressed. Deep breath in. Blow it all away. What about when you have 100 candles? How are you going to blow?
I don't know if I have enough breath for that.
Good job. And feel that happy feeling. I'm loved. Remember that memory. My happiest memory, I'm chosen. A big whale came up out of the blue and came all the way up to my boat and breathed out of her hole. What's that called? Her wet hole?
Not her pie hole, is it? Sorry about that. It's the blowhole is what it is.
Yeah, her blowhole. Thank you.
Okay. Made a mistake. Okay. All right.
Oh, we love pie.
We
That's
do.
right. And I saw her eye and I smelled the ocean and I heard her make this purr purring sound and I saw the water rippling. Like, this is my experience. When I'm in that experience, I feel so good. I want you to create that for yourself and squeeze your wrist and say, I'm loved, or whatever it is that you are in your happy memories. I'm loved. That's true. All right. Let's go back and notice again. Notice what's changed in this memory. I want you to notice, is everybody smiling? Are you feeling different? Are you seeing a different perspective? Are you noticing changes? If not, get the diapers out and change that pie hole. And oh, I'm just kidding. Let's go notice what hasn't changed. Is there any part that still bothers you? I forgot to do a measurement. So in the first time would have been like 10. Rita, interrupt me at any time. 10 is, but it's as bad as it can get. What would you be at right now? 0, it doesn't bother me at all. It's great. Or 10 is, it's as bad as it can get. What would your number be?
That's a good question. I've had some very, like for me, I had died and I saw a glimpse of heaven. So, but
Wow.
that's in 2001. And my husband died in 2015. So that glimpse of heaven was so incredible. It's a testimony that
Yeah.
I give because it's beyond belief.
Beyond belief. I want you to anchor that feeling in right now as you're describing it. So you're going to squeeze your wrist and you're going to say, this is beyond belief.
Certainly was. Yeah.
Yeah. And feel that feeling.
Oh my
Just
God.
remember what it was like.
It was positively amazing. Every human being on this planet, if they had an inkling of what that felt like, they would be running towards heaven. They wouldn't be afraid of death. They would want to go to the Lord because I just can't even, there's no description that does
Awesome.
this, to be
So
honest.
anchor that feeling in. You got that experience. You are the miracle. And you know what it feels like to have something be beyond belief. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Good job.
I'm not kidding about that. Nothing is
Perfect.
me.
So if
was-
you thought about this memory all the time, what would life be like? And I want you to start writing this down. If you just felt like that memory all the time, if you felt that same feeling of it's beyond belief, everyone would feel so, it's incredible, it's beautiful, all of those things. What
Yeah.
would life be like if you felt that all the time?
God, would I be in fabulous? I would.
Exactly. Write it down. Good. And for the rest of us, notice what still bothers you. And again, notice where you're feeling it in your body. If you had to describe it to me, how would you describe it? Okay. That
Can you
flat heart, let it go.
Can you direct a Trading Places?
Yes. So stand in that person. So that's where we were. We stand in that person's and notice what they know about you. What do they notice about you? Notice your face, notice your expression, notice your what they think about you. Okay. And if it's negative, let it go. Don't forget to smile. We can pant like a dog too. Stick your tongue out, pant like a dog. We're letting this go.
God has been very good to me in
It's-
many, many ways.
Yeah.
So,
It's
you
all
know,
right to let this go. Hold on one second. Let this go. Let it flow. And notice that we're going to turn it into something for our good. Deep breath in. Blow it all away. And feel that goodness.
yeah,
I'm loved.
I fight my own demons. We all have demons, and You know, depression has been mine for a long time.
We
I
didn't
know.
have any demons in when you were going to heaven, right?
Oh, no, that was,
That's right. So focus on that. Just feel the sensations in your body, the color, the sensations for the rest of you. What is it like to be happy? What do you feel? What do you notice? What do you see? What do you hear?
the happiest moment in anyone's life couldn't compare to what it feels like when you're lifted out of your body
Wow.
and you were taken up. I was brought back. I've been brought back a couple of times, but this time was for my husband to take care of him for 12 years when he was dying of cancer. And that was my mission. And to
Beautiful.
get an advocate for cancer patients. That's what I did.
What's your
Uh,
new mission, Eileen? What's your new mission?
That seems to be a very big difficulty for me lately because
Okay, right there, Eileen, right there. Let it go.
That difficulty.
Tap, tap, tap. Let it go.
Head up.
There you go.
Smile.
Smile.
I do emergency work, but it's not enough.
Keep tapping. It's gonna be difficult. My new mission, I don't have one. I have difficulties. I let it go. You guys, and if you're expressing any negative emotion towards any person, place, or thing inside the memory, just notice how you know. Are you seeing it? Are you feeling it? Are you hearing it? Come back out, tap, do let it go, let it go, let it flow, let it out, let it vent, switch it, flip it, and then go be happy again. And then just go to your happy memory. Go to the happy sensations. Notice the beauty out there.
There is beauty. There is such beauty in helping God's children.
Okay, there's your mission. Can you write it down?
Yeah.
Write it down. My mission is seeing the beauty in helping.
Yeah.
My mission is being the beauty in God's children. My mission is beauty and helping.
Yeah. True. True.
And what three things, Eileen, what three things can you activate? What three things can you do to activate them? Write them down, okay? Write like three things you can do to start your new mission.
Well, one I'm already,
Woohoo! Woman on a mission.
I'm an
Remember, she's from New York. So you know it's gonna get done.
really very aggressive person, but I work for ACT, which is Arizona Crisis Team. I work with usually it's death calls. We're all volunteers, so it's on our
Perfect.
team, which is
Maybe,
fun because this is helping people the worst day of your life. You find somebody dead, you call somebody like me or one of the other people I work with, that's what we do. We go to death calls, people who lose
Eileen,
homes.
do you want to do that again? You want to support X? Is
I
that
do support ACT. I do that and I won't give it up.
okay?
Voluntary. I've been I would like to do a part-time job. I'm on Social Security.
Okay, write it down. Write down. I want a part-time job getting paid, whatever it is you desire.
Yeah.
And then for the other participants in here, where are you at? If you go back to that memory, what has changed? What are you noticing now? What are the gifts and the learnings? What do you notice? Is there any resistance? Can you go? Are we in the rewriting process now, Tammy?
As long as they're down around 0, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Rita, do it.
My ears aren't working.
Oh no.
Rita.
Am I sounding funny too?
No, you're
Oh,
fine.
okay, it's just my ears that are funny.
thing, I reserve the right not to make an opinion on that one. You're fine, Rita.
You guys sound like chipmunks, just so you know.
Oh,
Oh,
cute.
I
That's
know.
awesome. Hey, that's a technique. If you don't like to hear something, make it sound like a chipmunk. So good. So if everybody is down where the memory seems different, all right, it doesn't feel different, it doesn't feel the same. Maybe it's like this understanding that you've grown up, you're not there anymore, you're safe. Maybe it's something like that. Just notice how much has changed. All right. And now what we want to do is actually just close your eyes and just notice, now that you have experienced your own brain's ability to shift these memories, to give you a different perspective just based on your happiness. Now that you know what leaves you feeling happy, now that you know what memories to practice, now that you know that no matter what happens, you can believe I'm loved, I'm chosen, I'm important. By focusing yourself on that memory, now that you know that, things are changing. You're able to see what you want to see in your future. You're able to create the wants. I want to see this. I want to have this. My desired outcome is this. And you're effortlessly noticing it show up in your life. It's easy now to notice how different things are, to notice how loved, to notice how that loved feeling shows up more often, whether it's just seeing that color you love, hearing that sound you love, feeling that sensation inside of you. You're starting to notice all those things that leave you feeling that way. And that feeling just gets bigger and bigger and bigger as you're experiencing life changed just because one memory changed. You're being more playful, you're being more carefree, you're being more you, more who you were created to be. That's the authentic you, without the story of the things that happen with you, without the feelings that you weren't created to have. And you notice that you're just feeling more and more free. Notice exactly the way you want it in the future. And are you smiling? There you are, doing what you love, having the people around you that you want, being connected, bringing joy, bringing happiness, bringing help, bringing love to other people. Would you be smiling? If you're smiling in the future as you are doing what you love, invite yourself over for a hug and we just squeeze ourselves, because it is us. It's the future you. Now that you've created what you want in your future, hold her as tightly as she's holding you and tell her what you need to hear. Tell her the good, positive thing that you need to hear. And it's really good to write that down.
Good making notes.
Remember to just breathe deeply as you embrace her and listen to what she says to you. Write that down. Squeeze her tighter and tighter. Just let those words make changes for you. Squeeze that future you that that created it just the way she wanted it right inside of you. Like to push her right into your heart, filling up anything that was not there, anything that was empty. Notice how complete you feel, and take that deep breath in and out. Squeeze your wrist as you allow these things to change all through today, even as you sleep tonight. And life just gets better and better and better now that you know more of what you need in your life, and you do it effortlessly, and you notice it all the time. And your brain created the pathway to create your desire, to create your dream. Good. How is everyone feeling? Are you noticing that it feels different than when we started? Yes? Yeah. Eileen, you know what heaven's like. You just sit there and experience that all day long. Okay? Feel that empowered feeling for Ella, however you have it in your past. If you've, it sounds like you've achieved a lot of things, there's a lot of empowerment there. You can feel that throughout the day just by focusing on those memories. Now it will be easier. Great. So we have a program where we do this for you guys. It's awesome. Actually, Wendy's on here, and she's in our little Flip It crew, we call it. And it's wonderful because, you know, things happen in our life, and when we can come together and have people looking into what we're experiencing and have us direct our brain to have it the way we actually want it instead of the way we keep having it happen. That's the pattern, right? Then everything can change. So would it be all right with you guys if we shared that with you? Anybody want to know what we do, how we do this twice a week, how we have workshops, how we have the planning? We have a life planning academy.
I'd be happy to get your information.
Great. Well, we'll talk about it and then invite you on in. Are you able to do that, Rita?
Yes, I am. So,
Okay, great.
you know, if you're complete in this call, feel free to jump off the call and go be with your happy memories. But if you notice transformation, if you notice something that occurred tonight and you're like, wow, like how does this happen? As you go, we have this transformational journey. It's a 13-week journey that basically we're teaching you the foundations of brain training. We're teaching you the foundations of how your brain works, and we're doing it for you. So we're actually finding memories, we're flipping them, switching them, rewriting them, giving your unconscious a new code of conduct. And, you know, some of you who are practitioners or are coaches in other modalities, you will pick up a lot of techniques between Tammy and I on how you can apply these brain training techniques with your clients whomever you're coaching. So we are running a 13-week program, and this is called, it's miracle making. It's you're switching and you're flipping memories into good memories. And that, and we have some bonuses because we want to make this like a no-brainer, like for you to invest in you, for you to be able to create a breakthrough for yourself in your life for 2022. It's, you know, that's something you get to jump into. So let me just share this. So we'll send you this email as well if you registered through the STOP technique. So everyone should have registered through the STOP technique. If not, we'll post it wherever you came from, and then in that post you can print out that technique, put it on your refrigerator, and use it for a later time. So if you want a breakthrough, if you want to thrive in 2020, if you've been feeling out of control, if you know, it's time for some changes, you have relationships that you need to grow and mature out of, here is what we do. So you're going to embark in a journey, and this journey is it's going to allow you to see what sabotaged you. It's going to allow you, you know, what your attachment styles were. How do you get love? How do you receive love? How do you do it? You know, because we always seem to find patterns in the brain. That's what the brain does. It finds patterns, and it finds the people to fit your journey. It'll be Tammy and I host this 13 weeks. It is 1997. And with that 1997, you get 52 calls just like this, where you're rewriting it, you're flipping it. You have some accountabilities, you're creating programs. We have a private group that you can jump into, or if you can't make the calls, we have replays there available. There's activities, there's exercises, and the bonuses are, you get a 2-hour bonus with us, where we actually sit down and figure out, like, what is it? What's the driving force? What is going to inspire you, touch you, and move you to create a life that you love? And you get to join all of December's calls as well. And for those of us who feel like, you know, 13 weeks isn't enough to make me thrive in 2020, we're going to give you an additional bonus of 13 more weeks. That's 52 more calls of brain training. And the value, again, is $19.97, and it's going to be at no charge. Not only that, but we're going to host 4 transformational journey workshops. So this is going to allow you to really hone into how to create happy memories, how to create inner peace, create a vision board, and what we call future pacing in the imaginary alpha state. You know, so for brain trainers, you know what that means. Not only that, what I'm most excited about is the Life Planning Academy. The Life Planning Academy, you're going to get to create a vision for your life, and then you get to break it down and find out what your year objective is. And then we're going to pick what objective you have. And then we're going to go into 90 days, break those down, find the targets, and then we're going to get 30-day goals. And then you have a weekly review. So we have this part of our brain called the reticular activation system, where if you activate it, your brain knows where to go, what to focus on, and things become more effortless and more effortless. We have weekly reviews. So on our calls, you're going to come, what did you do? What did you not do? And then we train around that. We work around that gap to get your point A to point B faster, quicker, and painless. And we work on the 1% formula, and we have a power hour, and you get 12 calls for no additional charge. It is part of the bonus, and that does expire in, I don't know, when does it expire, Tammy? 7 days, 10 days? So yes, this is, you can find more information about the workshops, dates, times, through these little guys. Yeah, if you have any questions, we will be sending out an email if we have your email, or I'll post it on wherever you came from, Meetup or Facebook, or thank you for your time. Thank you for allowing us to be of service to you, and we wish you well. And if you have any questions, let us know.
And keep in touch. Let us know how